I'm Adrienne, your sex positive bestie, here for sexy talk, real stories, and tips that just hit. Ready to play? Let's go. I'm here to share my naked truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I always do on the show, but this is a very personal episode for me, and I want to talk about it because I feel like it is so common, and many of us think we're so alone. I think that something that's very misleading about in life is that all relationships are perfect, right? Everything has to be just right. Mr. and Mrs. Right, right? Even in the bedroom. And the truth is that is entirely unrealistic. I was naive to ever think Mr. Right and I will always be, right in the bedroom. And I'm going to share something with you that came up last week. And this is super personal. And it's funny because I really have been nervous about sharing a lot about my relationship with Mr. Right, just because I love him so much. And I don't know, I kind of protect him a lot. But at the end of the day, I want to talk about these things because I know many of us in midlife are going through this and you're not alone, right? And if I didn't share my naked truth, what kind of show would this be, right? I really love being authentic and real with you guys. And so here goes. Mr. Right, if you're listening, you've already heard all these things, so just turn it off now. That's the other thing too, Mr. Right listens to these episodes and I come down here and I just think I'm talking to my cravers, right? I forget that there's people in my life that listen to this. And so it's very scary. But you know what? I'm always going to live my truth. And I want to share this because I think it's important. Okay. And also it's happened to me, right? Okay. So let's talk about what happened. So Mr. Right and I were getting it in and having a really good time. And I was riding him. And I was on my feet and then on my knees. And I said in the middle of it, I said, which one do you like better? Do you like it better when I'm on my feet or do you like it better when I'm on my knees? And he stopped me in the moment and said, Adrienne, I wish you wouldn't talk so much. And I was like, okay. And it was not the right timing. We've already had a big conversation about this, but I felt like, what the fuck? I don't know. I was kind of taken aback, right? And I felt dumb and stupid. And I was like, I didn't mean to talk so much. I just genuinely have always been a very curious person. I love learning. And sometimes I think that being so sex positive, being overly sexual has had some negative impacts on my life. I hadn't dated anybody really seriously, for years since I started the show. And I never really realized the impact sometimes that I may have on a long-term lover, being the person that I am, and sometimes not bringing the show into the bedroom, but just, I don't know, sometimes I feel like podcasting and learning about others and the lifestyle too has really changed me sexually in a lot of really, really, really good ways, but some ways not so much. Asking for consent in the middle of play is so sexy in the lifestyle, but talking a lot during sex, which is something I never really even realized I did, might not be. And we're going to get into this further, but I immediately felt so shitty. And I was like, what the hell? I'm sitting here riding you, pleasuring you. I felt like we were having a really great time and you're going to kind of snap at me and be like, can you just stop talking so much? Right. And I was offended because I'm a talker. I have kind of always been one, especially dirty talk and stuff. And I was upset, really, really upset. The next day I sent him this rude text message and I was like, why don't you just go ahead and let me know all of your boundaries and all of the things that I have to work on because and I took it seriously, really personally. And it was not right of me to do that. And I think we both had some regrets, but it was a touchy thing. And I just want to say, with all the communication that Mr. Right and I have, we're both still learning. And I think I really want to share this because you could be with somebody for 20 years and still be learning and growing and evolving in the bedroom. You know what? I hope that you are. And it might not feel so good at first. And it didn't for me. And I know that he knew I was upset. So then he felt upset. And it was just like this perfect storm of shit. And I was also in my head like, well, what else is there a fucking problem with? Mind you, that attitude right there comes from past experiences. Okay. So when in my last relationship, I was very judged, criticized, shamed for the things that I was desiring sexually, wanting a sex swing or wanting to try new things. I was really, really put down about it. And that triggers a lot of feelings in me. So, you have to be mindful of that. And I spoke with him about that. We sat down with each other and we had like a really, really, really deep discussion about, and I told him, I said, you hurt my feelings, especially like in the middle of the act. And he was like, Adrienne, he was like, piss poor timing. He was like, that was not cool. And, we both agreed on everything. And I just want to say like, it's really nice to talk things through with him, but I hate that in between where I feel like he and I aren't on the same page. I feel like it kind of fucks up my whole world a little bit. And I think in the future, I'm going to address the situation right away, and not when I'm like feeling heated about it still, but when I've calmed down a little bit, but more quicker than I did with this situation, because I felt like I was really in my head for, I think it was like a couple days. But we sat down and we talked about it, and I never really thought about it. He was like, Adrienne, I just want to, make love to you. I just want to be having sex with you and feeling you and enjoying you. And he was like, everything doesn't need to be educational or questioned or, instructive. And I never really thought about it. And I was like, oh my God, but I wish you would have told me sooner. And I told him, I said, in the future, if you have anything, share it with me, right? So if you are experiencing something with your partner like this, please address it with them outside of the bedroom, because I'll tell you, it hurt more because I felt dumb, because I was like, oh my God, if I've been talking to him and asking questions in the middle of sex and he's hated it, how long has he hated this for, right? And, we discussed it, and he was like, Adrienne, every now and again, cool. He's like, but not every single time. And I honestly didn't even realize that I was doing that. I think I'm just very curious, like I said, in the bedroom. And so I learned a big lesson, and I will still be learning and always be learning. And even me, my sex life and our sex life isn't always perfect. I think that's, again, unrealistic. A lot of people send me messages. They're like, oh my God, if I could only find a girl like you, or, my wife hasn't given me a blowjob in 10 years, or I'd be lucky to blank. I get it. But like, even me, like, it's not like everything's perfect and butterflies and rainbows and orgasms galore, right? Like, there's still things. And I just wanted to share that with you, my naked truth, because I think it's important, especially with how glamorized everyone's lives are online. And then you start to feel very isolated, and you're like, oh, why is everyone else having fun but me? And the reality is that's just not true. I want to say something too. So we had sex yesterday morning, and the last couple times we've had sex, not that I was trying to be a little bitch, but I was pretty quiet, right? Like, I was pretty quiet about saying anything. I think the next time that we had sex, I think I was like pretty fucking quiet, like almost silent. And I know that he noticed. He didn't say anything. But yesterday morning, I kind of felt like back in my groove again. And I was saying, dirty talking a little bit. And he does with me as well, which is super hot and sexy. And I love it. But one thing I noticed is I have completely stopped asking questions or, engaging in that kind of, let's learn this, or how about if I try this, or do you like the way this feels? Like, I've completely stopped doing that. And what I've noticed is our sex is a lot more intimate. There's more time for me to focus on the pleasure of each other and giving really good eye contact and just really focusing on what I'm feeling. And so I hate to say this because I hate saying when he's right, but he was really right about that. And it's not just a learning exercise sometimes. It's really about, being in love and giving love to one another and enjoying, our sex. And I definitely really noticed that yesterday. So again, awkward conversation, an awkward situation. But we both learned from it and we're going to move on. So I think I even remember him saying to me, Adrian, can we just hit like the reset button? Because look, it's funny. We've been together almost 2 years, which is wild to me. And in longer term relationships, you've been having sex with each other for a long time. You start to get super comfortable with each other, and also life gets in the way, right? Like, you're tired from work or stressed from whatever in life. And it's not that you put, your sex life on the back burner, but sometimes it just doesn't happen, right? It's not like the hot and heavy honeymoon phase when you first get together. And that's okay, because Mr. Right and I have a deeper love for each other. And it's funny, the other day he was like, Adrian, remember we used to have sex like, 4 times in a night, or, have sex all night long? Because I actually asked him, I was like, what's your record for like how many times you've had sex? By the way, I asked him that outside of the bedroom. Like, let's make that clear. And he was like, oh my God, definitely you, and it was just funny to me because I'm like, yeah, but we do get it in like that, I would say probably like once every 2 weeks, we like destroy each other, which is super fun and hot and sexy. But it's not all the time like it used to be. And sometimes I can get in my head about that, especially someone who's like a nympho like me. And I've talked about it on previous episodes where I think to myself, what's wrong? Like, you haven't fucked me every day. And the lesson that I learned for myself is that physical sex isn't the only way that I can feel love and affection from him. In fact, if I open up my eyes, I will see that there is a lot more that he gives to me outside of some dick. Okay. And that's something that I've been working on. And also, I'm not pressuring him so much anymore, and I'm focusing on myself. I've been in the gym 6 days a week. It's been really good for me. I am working on growing my show and, learning about other companies. I have some exciting things to share soon. But anyways, I wanted to share my naked truth with you. And I reached out to you over on Instagram. You can follow me there at Midlife Craving. And I asked you what your naked truth is. And I really appreciate you guys sharing. So let's get into it. Like I said, this is so common. And if you are experiencing this, you're not alone. In fact, I'm going to tell you this. If you're not in the honeymoon phase, if you're not, early on in your relationship, or you're not having an affair where like the sex is like ridiculously hot every single time, I would say 100% of us are going to go through this at some point. You're going to have miscommunication with your partner, and that's perfectly okay. It's about how you resolve things together. That's something I love about Mr. Right, is we do very well at resolving things with each other. We bring it up, we talk about it, and we overcome conflict really well. And that's really important in relationships, because as I was just telling a friend the other day, I was like, she was like, she's single, and she's like, I hate being single. I'm so lonely. And I'm like, look, being single is hard, but being in relationships is hard, and a lot of times you have to choose your hard, and, all of it is just, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it if you're healthy and happy in your relationship. Okay. So let's get into some of the things that you guys shared with me. The responses were a little bit short. So because I just did like a poll on Instagram, so not paragraphs or anything, but here we go. All right. So this first response is absolutely nothing's going on. Silent divorce, it feels like. I get that, right? And that's really difficult. And I know the position that you feel like you're in. You feel like your back's up against the wall. You have no other choice. But I just want to say, you got to talk to your partner. And I know a lot of us, like, you talk to your partner and they hear you, but they're not listening, right? And nothing changes. I think it's really important to sit your partner down in a very neutral time and really express to them how this is impacting you, how it is so vital and important to you in your life, and what compromises can they make. Oh God, as somebody who has been divorced and cheated on partners, which I'm extremely not proud of, and I would highly not recommend that. That's been my MO. And that's something that I've told Mr. Right. I'm like, the old me, I'm a runner. I would totally be like, okay, well, if you don't like the way I fucking talk, then I'm going to go talk with somebody else. That is like, I don't know why my brain goes there, but it's so incredibly awful and terrible, but that's what I thought. And that's what I think. Like, I remember, in my last relationship, he wouldn't go down on me. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go sit on someone else's face then. And that was a really selfish and immature and stupid way to think. I will never, ever do that to Mr. Right. Would never do that again in life because I learned a huge lesson with Mr. July on that. But it's hard. It's really, really difficult. And I know sometimes it might feel like divorce is the only option, and maybe that it is. But I really do feel like it's worth the try. It's worth trying to work with your partner. So I highly suggest this really, really communicate with your partner and talk to them about how much this is impacting you. All right, next response was, we have trust issues. Oof, I was just talking about that. That's a big one. And my advice for you would be to address those trust issues head on with your partner, right? Really talk it out. And whatever it takes, getting, some help with a therapist might really work as well. But whatever it takes to make you feel like you can trust your partner, do that, right? If it's, hey, I want to have access to your phone at all times, or I need to see your location, or we need to discuss this, or I don't want you, I don't know, like I don't know, whatever the issue is, but whatever it takes to make you feel trusted and trustworthy with your partner, I would do that. And you have to address it, even though it's painful, because let me tell you something, like the alternative is worse. Letting that resentment build up, letting that trust dissipate more and more between you and your partner, that is not going to lead anywhere good. So bring up those issues. And I'm really sorry. And as someone who is a cheater, I just want to let you know, like, that has nothing to do with you. And if I were working on a relationship with my partner, I would do whatever it takes to make sure they feel secure. So, that's tough. Okay, I am insecure after having babies. This is like something that I really can relate to. When I, had a baby and I lost a lot of weight and all that stuff, I was super insecure. I had a tummy tuck and I had like a big scar and stretch marks on my belly, that kind of stuff. And it really, really bothered me. And I was very insecure about it. And the lifestyle truly taught me nobody gives a fuck. They're so excited to be there with you, naked, in bed. Enjoy the moment. Get on top, gals. Seriously. They're not looking at that anyway. So seriously, like, if you're feeling any insecurities, don't, because you're beautiful just the way you are. But I will say this too. Focus on yourself a little bit. Give yourself TLC. I am someone who has always been in the gym, but I kind of let myself go, especially like the first year of dating Mr. Right, because I was so busy falling in love and doing all the things. And I realized earlier this year, I was like, I feel like shit. And so since January, I have been working really hard in the gym. I mean, shit, today I just noticed I've run 98 miles since May 1st. And I'm proud of that. And I feel really good. I dropped a pant size and I'm just feeling super strong. And that gives me so much confidence. It will overcome any insecurity in the bedroom. In fact, yesterday morning when I got out of the shower, I was feeling so good. I just walked up to Mr. Right, dropped my towel and got to business. And I wouldn't have done that over the winter. I was feeling too fluffy and insecure as well. But work on yourself and make yourself feel better. And also, just remember, they're really not looking at that stuff. I promise you, they're not. Okay. I'm having issues staying interested. I have a low libido. This is really tough, right? And I think a lot of us in midlife have this as well. And that is the low libido, all the hormones and menopause issues. I had another response and it was menopause issues again. And I just want to say, please, please address these with your doctor. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm actually going to talk to my doctor. I'm seeing her next week about, I do the estrogen cream. But I want to do the estrogen patch again and just figure that out and get blood drawn consistently throughout the year, just to always monitor my hormone levels, because even though last time I got it done, I was fine. You never know. And I want to stay on top of it. And please do not be ashamed of talking to your doctor about hormone replacement therapy. Men as well. I have so many friends that take T. It's not even funny. And it's really, really great for them. So talk to your doctor. and help yourself for sure. And I know like there's lots of things. Like I have friends that say that sex is painful for them. Figure it out and find out whatever it takes. Don't feel isolated or alone in this because you're not, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Just go get the help that you need. One of my episodes was the day my vagina changed, and I thought I had like a prolapse, and I was like flipping out about it. And, my anxiety was wild, but I went and talked to my doctor, got everything fixed and worked out. The estrogen cream is like pixie dust for down there. And so, yeah, I never even knew about it, right? Until I talked to my doctor. So get in there. All right. It's been so long, I don't know how to start. Here's the deal. Just get started, right? We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for progress. Whether that's, having some foreplay outside of the bedroom, complimenting your partner, sexting your partner, and do the little things like bring flowers home or write him a note and put it in his lunch. Start building your intimacy with your partner. That's a great way to start. Date your partner again too. I actually told Mr. Wright, I was like, one of the things Katina does with her boyfriend is they go on date night every week. And, I really, really love that. And it's important to have that time together. And so start to think about how you can date your partner again. That's how you can get started. Okay. This was the menopause issues again. God, so relatable. I get it. Talk to your doctor. Okay, here's one. And this is how I felt in my marriage. He doesn't do anything for me. Why should I do anything for him? Or why should I do him? Okay. Man, this is tough. I think it starts with communication, and you got to tell your partner like, hey, this isn't working for me. And here are the reasons why. It's funny because I just had like this visual in my mind where I remember one time I had just put my daughter to bed. I was so fucking tired, worked all day. And I was actually logging in because I did social media marketing and I was starting my second shift. And I remember, my ex-husband came upstairs and he's like, so like, do you want to do it or something like, I don't remember what he said. And I was like, oh yeah. So allow me to now satisfy you. I've done this and this and this and that. And, I was doing everything for my daughter and I was so fucking mad. I was like, the audacity that you have to think that now I should just satisfy you after you've been downstairs playing video games all night. Go fuck yourself. How about that? Go see Angela. She's always going to be there for you. Okay. Enjoy. So I get it and I understand. I was not looking to fix that relationship, but, for you, I would say really, really, really talk to him and tell him how you feel. And, like it's such a two-way street. And I think guys remember women, a lot falls on us, especially when you have children and you just feel like everyone needs something. Everybody wants something from you. And then like at the end of the day, it's like, oh, now I want to have sexy time. And it's like, oh my God. And sex can sometimes start to feel like a chore. You don't want that for your partner. So, equality outside of the bedroom will help you get it on in. Okay. All right. This one cracked me up. Small house / privacy. I so understand that. It's not even funny. Okay. I have that issue, right? My daughter's home 100% of the time here. The summer actually just started and I'm like, fuck, we're gonna have to get it in early morning, late at night, sneak around, what can we do? And it was actually a little bit of an issue for Mr. Wright and I because he was like, ugh, I don't want to do that when she's home and whatever. And I'm like, look, parents have children and they have sex. Like they still have sex. Like we got to do it. And luckily, like we're past that. But I will say, a lot of the time, we got to be quiet, we got to be quick, or we're rushing. Sometimes it can be really sexy and hot, but then there's other times where I'm like, oh my God, I just want to be noisy. Not talking, but noisy. But yeah, you got to find the time to get it in. Look, I mean, even if it's like having sex in your car after a date or, waking up super early with each other and sneaking downstairs or whatever, like that's a real whatever it takes situation to fit it in and get it in. And by the way, I know what you're thinking like, oh my God, ew, scheduled sex sounds so unsexy. Guess what? It actually really is. And Mr. Wright and I schedule sex all the time. I'll text him and say, I want to get it on in the morning. In fact, I'm going to text him right now and tell him because I want to have morning sex tomorrow because the best part of waking up and starting my day with sex that there's no other way. And I'm so happy. Like he knows like if you want to make me happy, just fuck me in the morning. Okay. And then at night. Oh, in the afternoon too. Okay. The next one. I'm struggling to want it. My husband keeps asking me what my fantasies are. I think that you can help yourself resolve this and you're going to want it because I'm a big fan of, use it or lose it. I would say start pleasuring yourself. It starts there, right? Like it's going to increase your libido. It's going to make you want it more. And let me tell you something, ain't nothing like the real thing. But until then, I would say go to tracysdog.com and get the Magic Wand Kit. It's my favorite wand at Tracy's Dog. And if you use code CRAVERS20, that's CRAVERS20, you get 20% off your entire order. Go treat yourself and then take care of yourself and enjoy it, right? Like carve that time out for yourself. I actually used my wand today and you know what? I had double orgasm. Oh, it's been so long since I've had that. And I was just like so turned on and so horny. I was like, oh my God, I got to do this. And just kept the wand there after I climaxed and I climaxed again. It was amazing. And look, like I want to fuck tomorrow morning. So like, use it or lose it and treat yourself and take care of yourself. You can even read erotica or watch porn or think about things that really turn you on. I'm telling you though, like a toy, yeah, it's going to do it for you. And for real, if you're not using it, you're going to lose it. So ladies and men, take care of yourself and with your partner too. Like that's something else I want to say. I love jerking off and love having orgasms and I think solo play is very important. However, if you're doing that more than what you're doing with your partner, that's a fucking problem. Okay. So I just want to put that out there. Okay. We have mismatched libidos. I did an entire episode about this, so go listen to that. But I think something I want to talk about too is with your partner, talk to your partner about like what arouses them, right? And what are their desire patterns? I think women have been asked for sex for so long by so many men that sometimes it's like, it's annoying, right? And you're like, ugh, like now I don't want to. It's like your mom telling you, you got to clean your room. You want to go clean your best friend's room, but you don't want to clean your room. And so talk to your partner when it's the right time outside of the bedroom. What turns you on? What do you think sexy? Tell me things that you think are sexy. What are some times that you really enjoyed together? And, start to pay attention of the desire patterns. Like, Mr. Right knows I like to fuck in the morning. Okay. And, I know certain things about him and focus on that and cultivate that timing and desire with one another. Okay. All right. I just want to say something as I'm closing up here. And that is you're not alone. And I feel like I said, at some point in all of our lives, in every relationship, you're going to have some iteration of this. And I will tell you this, in my experience, I've seen, and I've made the awful mistake in the past of just quitting and giving up and saying, fuck you to my partner and being extremely selfish and stepping out. Not the right move. I've, live and learn for sure and learn from my mistakes. And I just want to say, it's worth it to work on it with your partner. God, this world lacks so much loyalty. And it's like, you're only as good as your partner's next, opportunity. And that's so fucked up, right? But it's kind of like how our world has been with the internet and all the different ways to connect with people. And I just want to say, like, really focus on the love and compassion and life that you guys have together. It's really, really, people don't think about it, how special that is. And I feel like I'm going off on a thing here, but I love love. And I think relationships are worth fighting for. So you're not alone. We've all been there. And hopefully you've heard some ways today that might help you in your relationship. And even me, like I'm sharing my naked truth with you today because I'm right there with you. And Mr. Right is too, and as long as you are resolving things together and working in the future with one another to improve. Like, I'm not going to be giving instructions during sex anymore. But look, that's what happens, and this is normal, and it's okay. All right. I will see you guys next Friday. I am not sure what I'm going to talk about yet. We'll have to wait and find out.